So, Chris, I've started here on the main menu because where we want to begin is down here on the legacy pool. Now, the legacy pool. Oh, actually, I should preface this real quick with the fact that these features are still in progress. The UI is still being built, and so you're going to see bugs, you're going to see unfinished things. Please forgive us, but this update is not quite ready to come out, and so we're going to be working on this for another little while before it's actually in your hands. But let me sort of back us off the screen a little bit here so that you can see that the legacy pool looks a little different. Starting with, it's got these new headings across the top. Do you want to tell us a little bit about what these are, Chris?
Yeah, so now that we're leaning more heavily into allowing you to leverage your legacy survivors, we want to make it easier to be able to find the ones that you're looking for. So in this case, up top, you have a series of ways to be able to sort your legacy survivors. And then right below that, you'll see a function that doesn't work right now, but will soon for being able to filter. So in this case, you will be able to filter by specific community skills that you're looking for.
So you'll notice that, like, for instance, I've got my chemistry experts here first, and then I've
Mhm.
got my computers experts, including electronics and programming, and just regular old computers. And so if I wanted to filter these down to just my computers experts, because that's what the skill that I want to make sure I'm bringing into this new community I'm starting, I'll be able to do that now.
Correct. Yeah. So you'll be able to filter by computers and then all the variations or permutations that come after that too.
How did I end up with
And
so
then
many characters with craftsmanship? Oh well, whatever. Anyway. And
yeah,
then
and we are looking at, I don't remember if we're doing it, but I know we were looking at being able to filter to folks with like quirk skills and that kind of stuff too.
oh right, because the red Talon characters show up with a whole other range
Yep,
of skills that don't fall into the normal categories. That's true.
definitely.
Yeah, so you can just list people alphabetically. You can list them by leader type, which is really important, by community skills, by how many times that character is legacied. And
Hmm.
then you've got this last one on the end, favorites, which right now I've got nobody in there. I should add somebody to that. Like, let's say Nate here with his squid suit, which he seems like an amazing person. Let's mark him as a favorite. And now I go into favorites and he's all by himself.
You'll find some more squid suit friends and then toss them in there, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, so actually here's another one, like another squid suit friend here. Like now I've got just a squid team right here, all by themselves. It's great. But there's actually beyond the favorites here. There's actually another button that people might have noticed is on the screen. If I press X, that is my details button. How about I push that button and see what happens? Let's have a look at Anthony here. So Anthony loves cars. He's a huge jerk. He was in the ROTC and he was frustrated when we actually put him in the pool. And so if you look at him, you can actually tell what all of his traits are. And similarly, you can see all of his skills. But more important than that, what's over here on the right? You can see his inventory.
Yep. And you'll notice there are no files for the items, but there will be as
Yeah,
soon as we fix that.
yeah,
But
we're
yeah.
still working on that.
This was one of the things that was first on my like we need to do this list in terms of having details exactly what you said for the legacy survivors. One of the biggest things when I first came on board was like, all right, I want to leverage my legacy survivors, and I'm like, well, now I have to remember what all of them had. So now you won't have to remember that anymore. You'll just be able to simply go to the menu and look.
Well, that is really awesome to hear. And unfortunately, because of course this game is this feature is still in progress, I actually just crashed, which is why which is why I switched the picture of the two
It
of us.
happens.
Yeah, it happened. So I'm starting up the game again so that we can go and look at the next feature we're going to look at. But I think that this is actually one of my favorite things because for me as a player who maintains a lot of long-term communities and then eventually because I'm trying to unlock every single legacy. Eventually I close these out, but I love these characters and I want
Mhm.
to remember who they are and I want to bring them back. But it's so hard because at the end of each legacy I always like load up my characters with a bunch of gear and I make sure that they're just like the absolute most valuable characters I could possibly bring into another community. But then because of that, but after I do that, I can't possibly remember what I did without like
Yeah.
scrolling back and looking at all my old streams. And so now because the legacy pool actually has all of these, all this information, I can actually identify who is it that I want to bring into a community. What do they have and what amenities are they going to bring in? Not just their skills, but their equipment, their traits, the entire shebang.
Yeah, definitely. Can make a big difference when you actually know what somebody has when you're trying to decide who to recruit into your community.